Well,
Hi.
hi, Jane.
Hi.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Okay, yeah.
Feel a little antsy, but
A little
it's
antsy.
okay.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, just like last time. Kind of. Yeah.
It's hard to sit still.
Hard to sit still. Okay. So, anything new happen or change at all since we last talked?
No, I did try to do the breathing thing.
Okay. And did that have any effect at all that you noticed?
Well, what I noticed about doing it was I had to like notice it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Like I had to pay attention
Yeah.
to do it.
Okay.
And so it was like trying, so to like try to get my thoughts to stop,
Mm-hmm.
to pay attention to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Takes a little bit
Okay.
to get focused on it.
Take some time to get focused, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's a new skill that, like any skill, well, you're a musician, so you know that everything takes practice
yeah.
until, it has an effect.
So I tried it at work, and I
Mhm.
tried it like, at night before I'm trying to, when I was going to
Okay.
bed,
Okay.
and then one night when I woke up and I just couldn't go back to sleep. I was just
Okay.
like
Okay.
kind of out of my mind, and I just thought, well, maybe
Okay.
I can try that. And
Okay. All right. Good. I'm glad. And today we'll talk about that and maybe expanding on that technique and then some other ideas. But first I want to see, if there are any ideas that you've had. Sometimes, just talking about it with a social worker, sometimes it triggers, thoughts in a person that like, oh, maybe I could try this. Maybe this would make a difference. Have you had any thoughts like that? That anything you think might help?
well, when I left here last time, I kind of thought about like, tried to look at my day and see if there's things that, that I'm doing or not doing
Mm-hmm.
that might help me feel better, or that would
Okay.
make me feel worse, or
Mm-hmm.
and like I paid attention to like when am I, I've cut down on coffee and I've cut down on drinking
Okay.
a lot of soda, and so
Mhm.
but still it was like, well, when's the last time in the day that I,
Yeah.
that I'm drinking anything that's got like caffeine in
Okay.
it or something,
Yeah.
and usually not after like 2 or 3 o'clock I'm done, so I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
But it's like
Yeah.
maybe I need to do less of that even than I'm doing.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that. Just before you said it, I was like, oh, darn, I never asked her about caffeine. And to talk about the role that caffeine plays with anxiety. So how much coffee or soda are you drinking?
Well, not a ton. I mean, like I get up in the morning and I drink
Mhm.
a cup or two of coffee in the morning.
Okay. And how
And-
big are those cups?
Like a regular.
Okay, so it's not like
it's
one or
not-
two
no,
of these grande
no, not
or
a
whatever they're
huge-
called. Okay.
Yeah, no.
All right.
No, just I have a little 4-cup coffee pot at home.
Okay.
And so when I make that in the morning, it's probably half of that
Okay. All
that
right.
I drink while I'm getting ready for work
Okay.
and getting my day ready,
Okay.
And occasionally if we have a meeting at work or something, I might have another cup of coffee.
Okay.
But, and I used to be a big Mountain Dew drinker, and,
And
when I looked at what I do now, I maybe drink 3 or 4 cans in a week.
okay.
So it's not a lot, and I never drink it,
Okay.
like after like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so.
Okay.
So, I mean, I could
Okay.
cut some more out, but it's like,
Okay.
it's not
Yeah.
like that I'm doing a
Okay.
ton of it.
All right. Well, just some thoughts. If you thought that it might, maybe at first just to keep track on how you feel before and after you have, like, say, a can of Mountain Dew, just to start to notice
Yeah,
if it's better or worse afterwards.
okay. Well, I
And-
know those cups of coffee in the morning.
Uh-huh.
I think I tried to not drink coffee in the morning, and I got horrible headaches.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Withdrawals. No one should go cold turkey. That's
So
hard.
I'm
Yeah.
not ready to not drink
Yeah.
coffee first thing in the morning. But
Sure.
I would, I could
Just
kind of pay attention to
Yeah,
the
just pay attention, I think, would
Mountain
be.
Dew thing.
And then if you notice anything, then you can make a decision. you
Okay.
know. Or if you think you might want to decrease, one of the things that I know people do is just start to mix in a little bit of decaf with their morning coffee to kind of decrease the percentage of caffeine they're getting.
Oh, I could
If
do
you
that.
thought that you wanted to do that.
Okay.
yeah. And they even sell,
Like a
coffee that they
mixed.
call 50-50.
Oh,
Okay, so that's one thing just to pay attention to and maybe decrease the caffeine. Okay.
excuse me.
One of the things, I was thinking of, we talked about your spirituality
Mhm.
and how that has, brought you, to some level of, or connection, a level of connection. And I'm wondering if there's anything with that, any like reading or practices or anything that you're familiar with that you might want to incorporate a little bit more.
Well,
Your life.
I smudge,
Mm-hmm.
but
How
I
often
don't,
do you smudge?
maybe 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay. Okay.
I haven't been to a sweat for a long time, but the people that I used to sweat with, who owned the property where we had the sweat,
Mhm.
moved,
Oh, okay.
and they're splitting their time between here and the Twin Cities.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's, it's been probably 2 years since I went to
Okay.
a sweat.
Okay. Are you familiar with others?
I know another woman who sweats, but I've never asked her
Okay.
about it or
Do you think
she
that
hasn't
might
been-
be helpful at all?
to go sweat or to ask her.
Both of those. Well, one would depend on the other.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy going to the sweats.
Okay.
I mean, it feels good. It's a good
Mhm.
thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it feels like it's a settling kind of
Yeah.
thing
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Yeah.
I don't know the other people there.
Okay. So I don't know if that would be more anxiety producing or then it's worth. I don't know.
I
It's
don't
just an
know.
idea.
Yeah.
Okay. What about I mean, you said that sometimes reading helps. I'm wondering if there's, sometimes people do very specific types of reading that can calm the mind, like maybe something spiritual or, you said you like outdoor type stuff. I wonder if there's some kind of targeted reading that might be helpful.
Well, I try to, if I'm reading at night before I go to bed, I try to not read about things I have to think about too much. It's like
Okay.
if I could find like a story.
Okay.
Or, if I went, in fact, I was thinking about that because we made a trip last
Mhm.
week, and one of the persons in the car had a book on tape from the library, and I
Mhm.
wondered maybe just, if not reading, putting a book on
A
tape,
book
to,
on
like
tape,
somebody's,
okay.
to listen to the
Uh-huh,
story, maybe
sure.
that'll fall asleep
Uh-huh.
listening to that.
Okay.
Or, I can try to pick up a book, but I just needs to, you're right, it would have to be kind of, when I read before bed, it's like I don't read anything related to work, and I don't read
Mhm, good.
anything that's like, got you on the end of your seat
Okay.
waiting for, like thrillers or,
Mhm. Okay.
try to keep it pretty calm and tame.
Okay. All right, yeah, I'm just an idea of just something you want to be aware of, what if, I don't know if you, one thing I didn't ask you, I just remembered, you said you've been sober for many years. Have
Mhm.
you been active in like 12-step groups or support groups of any sort like that?
No, when I first got sober, I went a
Okay.
lot.
Okay.
But it's been many, many years since I
Yeah,
went
okay.
to AA or.
Okay. Okay. Because I'm just thinking of, they have a lot of daily meditation type books that
Mhm.
a lot of people find very grounding
Mhm.
and can help with that,
Yeah. Well, that's an idea. I haven't,
Okay.
I had some of those, I'm
Okay.
sure I still have them, but
Okay.
I just
Okay.
haven't.
Okay, maybe explore something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just some ideas. If it doesn't sound like something that you're interested in, then it
Yeah.
won't work, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.